So hello there, peeps. I would like to talk about, a little bit about the segment that happened basically in MK3 finals, which was kind of right the finals, but the tournament in itself was very, I would say, very wild. And it's just an interesting, some interesting observations I have noticed. So I have a few notes that I'm gonna be going through while just sitting there and talking and jerking myself off. So there is a fundamental principle of winners in any field. With a winner, you almost never have to tell him when to start, and you almost always have to tell him when to stop, right? So this is actually a quote I would like to trademark. I don't think I heard this quote mentioned anywhere, but some derivations, and some, let's say, and some derivatives of this quote. Of course, yeah, for sure, we have heard this somewhere. Now, with a winner, you never have to tell him, oh, mate, let's go to practice. Let's go do these reps, and no, he will be the first in training and basically the last to leave. Remember that. With a winner, there is always one more set, one more rep, one extra gear, one additional level. No stone is ever left unturned. That's the mentality. And that's how, every guy that would like to do something great in his life should approach it. That's how the story of Kaasschaaf, final map in MK3 goes. And there's a moral to the story, kids, so stay tuned. Sorry that I've got a lot written down this time, but I do not want to forget anything, and human memory is memory, so let's go. 5 minutes remaining. Kaasschaaf is leading +2 on the grid, MP grid, the last map, basically in the tournament, the finals, the last tiebreaker map. A very tactical and sneaky map, great map, great design, lots of corridors and even 2 floors, and even an elevator shaft with places to hide in it a little bit. At 3:20 to go in the game, and to win it all, it was tied up with Kaasschaaf making a tactical mistake of shooting an object. I'm sorry, just for a second, I want to... Oh, shit, yeah. So, shooting an object, a ledge. Yeah, it was actually a ledge, not an object. And he might have thought that Punisher, was behind that, or, his head was there, yeah? While Punisher was on a level below him, actually, at that point. And that gave away Kaasschaaf's position. Thus, Punisher basically quickly capitalized, on killing Kaasschaaf with a shotgun. And then never losing the lead. Managing his tactics so well that Kaasschaaf just relented, from that point on. Not wanting to play this kind of tactical cat and mouse game, right? Because later... when he then in quick succession, Punisher had a 4-point lead at 2-minute mark from there, from which he switched up his tactic, playing much more bold and in the open, again kind of surprising Kaasschaaf, and storming him even more, compounding the effect and kind of crushing him, and even oppressing him kind of. Eventually he got to +8 or 9 points. If I don't quite correctly remember. I think I've written it down. Yeah, 8 or 9. This is how it ended, But to know what truly happened at the end, we should go to the beginning. And so me and Kaasschaaf, we have been training on and off at the time. And more to the leading up to the finals. From quarterfinals on, till the finals, and of course the most was before the finals for the Punisher, right? So now, to be fair to Kaasschaaf, right, raw ability-wise and talent, his talent can only be described as max-like, the winner of MK4. I think Kaasschaaf would be on that absolute elite level with some of the tactics and kind of sheer practice reps if he would have put them in. Kaasschaaf is like, for me, he's like the GOAT from my point of view, on the raw, unpolished talent, honestly. And that's a huge praise, kind of honestly coming from me, but I think a lot of people would notice that as well. I rarely saw a player, who can just come in the game and dominate on that level, on that talent alone. And again, without like any special, let's say, aim or tactics, maybe even training, especially tactics training, I would say. But like, no, he tactically at some points he was very sound. Well, at least at some points, and on some maps definitely. But like without any special aim, or like his aim was unreal. And again, but like purely on talent, I would say. Mostly it was talent. Not like that much of a like practice or the reps again. For quarterfinals, X3M Snake match, we practiced like the map Fragger quite a lot, and I could see there that Kaasschaaf was just an epic player. But already, I could see he sometimes did not take practicing that seriously, And it's not like, in our little world, it's like there is a lot at stake or whatever, right? But as we go further, you can understand that like the moment, after the moment is gone, it's gone, obviously, and you still, if you come so close, you would like to try to win. To explain it a bit further.
Do it again, please.
Stay off the weed.
I will say that any, and of course all indulgences and all of that shit, kills your productivity, from alcohol to like smoking to girls, even to whatever, to like whatever. Sure, after like a long week and you got one day to relax, you can indulge some, like maybe, I don't know, smoke a cigar. I believe, some of Kaasschaaf indulgences, and again, I mean it with total respect to him and like his kind of, privacy as well, but I am saying that I did feel that there were some indulgences there in private life that have kind of killed his some of his raw ambition, I would say, and kind of I will leave it at that. Hey, and like, and let me kind of expose myself, now, so people don't think like I'm just piling up on the guy. I gave him kind of more than plenty of praise as arguably a GOAT of sheer talent in SOF2 particularly, sheer talent wise, it's insane. And I'm not saying this lightly. Myself, I've struggled with kind of all types of habits in my life, down to even watching and listening too much YouTube, for example. But kind of when I felt it was messing with my productivity, I cut it out to a great degree, quite instantly. I have only one life to live, and I won't mess it up with some kind of bullshit, Just in case, again, I'm not saying like or making a statement about Kaasschaaf as a person or like damning him in any way. On the contrary, I have nothing but praise for the guy. And look, a finalist is nothing to scoff at, and to give us all these duels. I mean, he is one of the greatest this tournament has ever seen or will see, I believe. But it's just a tale of, facts and a tale of interesting ideas. And Kaasschaaf example can help us kind of all in our lives. And his too, of course, hopefully, again, it is like a lesson for all, for me, especially for everyone. Again, it's not like, it's no like no criticism even, basically, it's just again statement of facts as mostly like I see them, but like I think he I hope he would agree with many of those points as well. And again, like, he's a brilliant player, absolutely, like again, one of the very greatest I have ever seen. So again, it's only but praise, but like, let's also study how we can win more in life and everywhere. Then we get to the semifinals against RaVenZ, who was very similar opponent to Punisher and was an MK2 finalist, actually. Very, very respected, very fleshed out, like all-around player, a masterful tactician, just a brilliant player all around, very well known. Me and Kaasschaaf at that time trained on Ice World and practiced some special situations against RaVenZ. But it actually never came down to Ice World in the match. Kaasschaaf or nor Raring that put that on. I think Raring put on the aim pistol, which Kaasschaaf actually, to his credit, managed very well. But so yeah, it never actually came down to that, but it involved different maps. And Kaasschaaf won decisively the first map of Aim Train. Then Raring actually came close in both Aim Pistol and Mincemeat. Mincemeat as well, which was like Kaasschaaf's favorite. I think it's also like Mac's favorite and the Plograt as well. Kind of people like Mincemeat. I don't know like why do people like. I like it. It's beautiful, great map, great design. It's well, I can understand why. It's kind of more pure of an aiming map. Although it does allow for some quite a great like camping and tactical style as well. I think it's overrated how people sometimes think that like Mincemeat and you will be like and just aim. Let's aim. Let's no. On Mincemeat there's plenty of opportunities for a great like tactics and for a great like even camping style. So I don't know. It's very dangerous to play around in that map. Tactically, well, obviously, if you're tactically very solid, strategically and stuff like this, you can you for sure will. If you're a better aimer than your opponent, I think for sure you will win. Even if your opponent is like better tactically. But okay, that's another issue. So Mincemeat to extend the series, but like it didn't happen, and Kaasschaaf like advanced by 3-0 in the best of 5 series, to the finals from there. Kaasschaaf at that point proved he could beat like skilled tacticians as he won Raring 3-0, advancing to the MK3 finals. Now we get to the finals against Punisher, who beat his matchup Delic at that point, in semifinals in 4 maps, and with Delic beating Punisher on anti-camper, which at the time was actually kind of Punisher like Achilles heel. Well, not anymore at all. But still, I will say that Delic was in an incredible shape at that point. And like his competitive drive, especially he has won some deathmatch tournaments at that time, is a very special player as well. And like in some scenario at that point, I could believe that Delic could have even like faced Kaasschaaf, his kind of gaming friend, if I might say so. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but like his, he could have matched up with Kaasschaaf pretty well and very interestingly, in the finals, but that never happened. Obviously, Punisher was just primed at that point, to take his. Now about Punisher. Punisher, just in case Frank Castle, no, he's not, so you understand this video is not an excuse I'm making at all for Kaasschaaf. Punisher was primed again. He was just absolutely primed to win this one, having practiced from the previous 2 and losing a 1-point battle, imagine this, against Plograt in MK2 semifinals. He was on a journey to leave no hostages this time. Punisher was like simply better, all around, more well-rounded, and like eventually and well-deserved. And he was out there to bring this baby home and to be the first pure, Hop Clan player to bring the championship kind of to us, aside from Kaasschaaf himself. Meaning like Kaasschaaf, if he would win, he was also in Hop at the time. So yeah, it was like Hop Clan finals, which is like epic, beautiful. So overall, Punisher is one of the greatest players I have ever seen to play the game all around. Enough said. There can be like no debate about it. Like again, the guy is just fucking unreal, like, and watching some of like sometimes he makes unreal plays that like leave you just wondering how are those like even humanly possible. He can just like his smarts, his game sense are off the charts. Like his instincts and sound recognition and game and game IQ is just kind of unreal. Again, just phenomenal player all around. I mean, like They have even trained later with like Max and stuff, and you know Max said it himself. Like Punisher has given him a lot of like shown him the ropes a little bit around the 1v1 server and like how does it go, and like it's just beautiful. So again, terrific player all around, and again he was just simply primed. He was on a mission this time. But and still, this is one of like the most even final stages we ever had, like since MK1. So of course, the fact that Punisher won the first pick of Kaasschaaf, actually, who won him in a knife toss, you know. So he like the aim train map, which was different at that point, you know. It was like the old classical, like kind of CS map imported into SOF2, right? CS 1.6 map. So so Punisher won Kaasschaaf actual pick, the first pick, +5, and it affected Kaasschaaf negatively as well, for sure. But Kaasschaaf showed incredible poise even after like losing spam 2 by -2 again, you know, to like, so again Punisher was +7 overall. In the last seconds of spam 2, yeah, Kaasschaaf has lost it, which came, and like basically which came next, being actually Punisher's pick. No, I'm sorry. Like the spam 2 was Punisher's pick, yeah, which he has lost. And but Kaasschaaf made an impressive comeback in mincemeat, like the third map then, which was his pick, and it was a low scoring effort, like +4 to Kaasschaaf, and he regained some confidence on anti-camper as well after that, the fourth map. Which was like Punisher, you know, the latter of which, like anti-camper. Me and Kaasschaaf, we have like specifically trained, and I was very pleased with him on anti-camper. You know, he did have great confidence in that map as well. At first, like Kaasschaaf was not that great there on anti-camper, and like actually a lot of kind of pro players, they kind of scoff at this map and they think like, oh yeah, you know, but this map is like a pure like as much as you can come to like a chess game of a pure smarts game, so to say, yeah, move by move. The anti-camper is like especially this kind of a map. Actually, I think that it's almost like, obviously you have to have reflexes, you have to have aim, you have to have like some, you know, a lot of game to you for sure, but still, like the smartest player will win the anti-camper, you know. Like again, barring that we have like at least some comparable talent level, at least some comparable same game-ish type players, you know. At least again, they're at least comparable. Like one can be better, but overall, yeah, but the other will win just based on more smarts. So at first, you know, Kaasschaaf was not that great on anti-camper actually, but later became like a beast there, I would say, yeah. So the fact that like Punisher fought, I think that Punisher truly with this pick kind of thought that he was going to kind of surprise Kaasschaaf and take over the series, you know, and then the series on anti-camper, which was like kind of again his kind of Achilles heel, you know, and it would have been a great like storyline, but which both like I actually and Kaasschaaf, you know, anticipated he might do it in terms of a surprise pick or a pick that like even Kaasschaaf himself could actually do, but that did not happen. So Punisher picked it. So kudos on that to Kaasschaaf and his boys. So basically, again, Kaasschaaf did impossible. I don't know if it happened on the final stage. I don't think it did ever. Like, I don't remember about semifinals. I have to check it. But he did the impossible. You know, he climbed out of like 2-0 hole against like one of the greatest ever players on the tournament ever. But again, had he practiced for an example, like an uncomfortable map like anti-camper a bit more and gotten a few more kills, you know, more on anti-camper or etc., you know, he could have gotten the tie breaker map to be his pick. So think about it. Eventually, by the time Anti-Camper had like ended, he had won Punisher there by +1. So in total, he was -2 kills from Punisher, for the tiebreaker map. So 2 kills, like, now think about it. Had Kaasschaaf won Anti-Camper by just +3 points, not by +1 he did, but by +3, the tiebreaker map pick would have been his, which for sure I think would not be like MP Grid, I anticipate. Had he practiced Anti-Camper with me just a tad bit more, again, had gotten a few more reps in, it could have been like his desired outcome. Or now that doesn't mean that the tiebreaker map would have been won by like Kaasschaaf, but still. So now we come to the dreaded MP Grid, and here is where like the philosophical part for me begins. And the thing that I was saying to Kaasschaaf also before, and even before his finals match, and just like plain philosophy. Like Kobe Bryant told once, if you come so close to a victory or like a finishing rep, it is actually completely illogical to cheat yourself out of like completing the drill. For example, in practice, like to 100%. Say you are like beyond tired, but just inches like separate you from crossing the line, like the line the demarcation line, right? So the fact that you inch that inch out does not make you like that more tired, or like more tired, like, period. So to say, so why wouldn't you cross that line fully? Instead, because you're so tired of the training, you cheat yourself, this time with an excuse of like, I don't know, fatigue or like whatever. But then next time and next, if you cheat yourself that way, the effect is compounded over time. And as all these reps add up in your body and in your subconscious mind even, right? You must always finish the reps. It does like, and I'm not saying like in a bodybuilding sense or whatever, finishing till failure. I'm just saying like overall, in general, like you try to finish, like if you do something, try to do it as properly as you possibly absolutely like kind of can, outright, from the get-go. Not like, oh, let's make it another day or whatever, if you see what I mean. That's why, to me personally, as a guy who trained with Kaasschaaf, and as you develop this like bond with a contestant, you want to see him win. And it breaks your heart when like tiny inches separate a guy from achieving his full potential. Now, to climb back in another tournament, it will be like harder for Kaasschaaf should he ever decide to do it. Like, I don't know, for MK5, MK6 or whatever, it's like it's gonna be harder for Kaasschaaf now to again try to reach the finals again, right? As tournaments also progress, it's also like the competition level does get also from a certain point of view, at least, it can get harder and harder, and try to climb back, at this stage. Now I'll go to the to the stream of like consciousness, what separates a champion. One of the kind of greatest examples is, I believe, in MK history is like Plograd, but I would say Max as well, absolutely. Though I have kind of trained with Max a tad bit less, and obviously Punisher. Now, what Kaasschaaf, for me, I think, failed to do, and I told him this, that like I do not like that sometimes he had this kind of a nonchalant attitude, to training, is that he did not a lot of times properly finish his reps. And that's what I mean, with a winner, if you want to win, I don't have to tell you like as and I'm not saying I'm a trainer or whatever, but as your sparring partner, why do I have to fucking care? Like, I don't have to tell you, man, that like, okay, let's do one more, oh, let's do it like this, let's do it better, let's do it a little bit, let's do a little bit stronger, let's do it, why do I fucking have to tell you this? You have to tell me this, and I have to actually be, as your sparring partner, like fucking tired. and you say to me, no, please, come on, man, let's do one more. You know, this is how it should be done, not the other way around. So he also wanted to finish some trainings early. But I told him he like at least needs a few more reps in. You know, again, I told him that. I told him over and over on our practices that you must do more reps, as I see some flaws we could work on. You know, he was like, nah, you know, it could be fine. You know, it will be fine. When we practice special situations for grid, for example, it was like, actually, it's a very interesting story for another time, but just a quick like summary that like for Punisher sometimes like I have practiced it with Plograt as well. We have I played the most fucking disgusting camping style. It's not about Punisher, you know, he doesn't play it like that, but just like he plays it just tactically, you know. But I play it in a way that I fucking lead, right? I have like +10 lead or whatever for the map, and I for example hide, you know, in different places and play as like tactically and as like, you know, sound and everything like as much as possible. And then for example Plograt or Kaasschaaf, they try to, you know, they try to climb back into the game. So that's actually a great psychological, you know, training as well. And like it's you have this time crunch, you know, and stuff like epic training on MP Grid. But again, Kaasschaaf, a lot of times he wanted to leave those like grid trainings early, and it's so fucking stupid that it came back to this fucking grid map where I specifically told Kaasschaaf that, come on, man, like do more, let's do more of those where I hide, let's do more of those, you know, when I play where I play this kind of camping style. Again, not saying to Punisher, but just saying, come on, man, like let's do those. No, instead he opted out of those ones. Now again, he did train hard and he did train good, but those extra reps, extra fucking shit that just didn't get done. He lost by a tad bit, you know, like of effort pinch. He was that fucking close. I have to, you know, praise Punisher, obviously, but still, that is what must hurt, you know, and that is what hurts. Like, I don't know how much does it hurt for him. For me, like, as kind of trying to train with him, it does. Not in the terms of like, oh, I have anything at stake, you know, I don't care. Like, again, I don't have to fucking also waste my time even on that, you know. People just play and they train and do whatever. But like, again, if we train, let's train hard, you know. Let's not train just to fucking waste time. And let's not just train to just, you know, mechanically. We have trained MP Grid specifically for Punisher, and it went like this, you know. So yeah, again, yeah, I told you this, that, you know, the kind of, I try to play the worst defensive style, you know. And so the guys had to recoup those points. But, you know, again, like in for example Grid, you know, like Plograt, that's a whole different story I will tell in another video. Plograt, it was always like this, that he went for extra rep, always, every single fucking time. I was fucking also like already ready to like almost go, but he was not. Okay, I fucking hate it. Why didn't I like do it more? Why didn't I have like better game? Why didn't I win you +5 or whatever, you know? Oh shit, +4, it's not enough. Let's win +5, +6. I must win you +10, you know? That's how you do it, you know? That's how you do it. So tactically, Kaasschaaf needed to practice Grid more. Because, like, again, even with Plograt or like even Max, I would say to a degree now, again, we didn't practice that much with Max, but I know his fucking mentality as well. There was a difference. You had to tell, again, those guys sometimes to stop. With Kaasschaaf, you kind of like, you ask him like when we start, like sometimes I reach for him. But no, honestly, again, Kaasschaaf is an incredible competitor. I know it from knowing him, you know, and he has this like beast mode in him for sure, and he has that incredible like very again, he's an extremely competitive individual, you know. But again, hey, I can be competitive in anywhere, you know. I can be competitive in like, I don't know, like chess or like I don't know, like throwing stones or whatever. But like really like, so what if I'm fucking competitive? Like, you still have to put those reps in. Do you think like there are other guys who are in the tournament, or like even some, like for example, even with Arya, you know, a 2-time quarterfinalist, like with her, even she had this competitive edge at like with her, that she wanted to, you know, okay, let's try to prepare a specific map for a specific opponent, you know, and she did quite well, you know, as well as you can. Again, going through some of this very tough competition, which are basically almost esports level competition, we could say, you know, in SOF2 world at least. And look, it might seem like I care more for some people like winning than they do or whatever, but no, it's actually, again, Kaasschaaf did care for winning, but not enough, you know. This is still coming to play. Again, this is no excuse like on Kaasschaaf's behalf. Like, Punisher was the best player on the tournament and won fair and square, you know. And again, this was like basically one of the two closest finals, one being like MK1 and this then MK1, MK3 that we ever had. So all credit can only go to the champion, you know, Punisher, who demands his respect, and I fucking respect him, you know, to my core. But the thing with Kaasschaaf, he could have at least prepared more. And if you can, most likely you should. You know, if you can, do it. You know, most likely. Again, just doesn't mean you do it like till you have a fucking heart attack. But just if you can and you know it, do it. And of course, Kaasschaaf, you know, deserves his damn respect too. And I obviously want to say, like, I respect him as a player, as an individual. But like, again, still, now you can never kind of get this moment back again. At least in the past tournament. Like, you know, MK3 has passed, you know, that's it. Like, 3 years removed or whatever, you know, and 4. And you can motivate yourself, you know, for the next one, of course, and still make it like a positive. And that's what you should do, you know, if you want to come back and prove to yourself, maybe to other people or whatever, you know. Like, I am not into like proving something to other people, but still I am into like proving in terms of like, okay, people say that you're this and that, you're like, I don't know, like, oh, you're this, oh, you're like, you know, but you know your heart, you know who inside of you are, and you feel the criticism is truly invalid. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's better not to even like try to tell them they're wrong or whatever. You be like, okay, sure, yeah, you know, you let them throw stones, you take it. You take it on the chin, so to say, and then you fucking psych yourself up to kind of prove them wrong with action, you know. So Kaasschaaf, I don't know what mentality he will take. I don't know what he wants to kind of do. I don't know if Kaasschaaf will return, whatever he wants to do, whatever he feels is right for him. I personally feel that, yeah, there is always something to prove and something, you know, that can motivate you to like come back better than ever. And of course, like, again, I don't know, like, it's just a game. We don't have like it's almost, we mostly play in let's say amateurish, you know, setting. But still, I do believe that there is SOF2 is a very beautiful game, and there is plenty of like possibility for great competitions and great, just, you know, and again, fun. There are plenty of players who come into those competitions, you know, to just enjoy them and play and have fun, and it's beautiful. And some people might say that, you know, it's like, oh, they're being a tad bit like of a cannon father for like, you know, for like more experienced players or something. But no, actually it's all bullshit, because a lot of those, sometimes they surpass their own expectations. They also learn, they become better, they spar. And also what's great about it is like we also provide them with like you know, some memories, some commentary, and then they, and for example, okay, the opponent who has won them, sometimes those guys then start to root for that opponent because they see how, oh my gosh, he was truly so great against me. So it's not all that, you know, that like psychotic, like, I don't know, like, oh, competition and shit. But again, for if you do want to reach the finals and maybe even win, a lot of times that's what it takes. It's all about all of the extra shit you do, all of the extra shit. And again, you do have to have obviously some talent. You have to have great mouse control, great like movement control. You need to understand like the tactics and like SOF2, you know, and the flow of the game and the damage mode and everything. You have to understand like subconsciously. You have to be so well prepared on many things, and then, you know, again, you have a great for example sparring partner, and you can, you know, from there you can grow. But you improve, you know, you daily improve, you know, you always improve. And that's the mindset, you know. But again, it's easy to say, oh, improve, oh, okay, let's do it, yeah. But there is also always that extra level you want to do, you want to go. And that's why, like, it's actually ties up to improvement perfectly, obviously. Like, you know, extra reps sometimes may mean like extra kill, you know, extra like minute, you know, and that gives you improvement for sure, obviously. So yeah, those are my thoughts for now about like kind of Kaasschaaf situation, and we will go more for sure in some future videos or whatever. We will return to this more and reminisce a little bit and go to different situations and different, you know, fun stuff that's going to be happening. So let's see, you know, when I'm going to do something like this again. But again, it's just very good, I think, to think about this, and this mentality, all of this ties up to life as well. So okay, thank you for watching. You know, see you and goodbye.